Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a big speed review style video. I think I have like 20 products to talk about in today's video. I've been testing out so many makeup products. There are so many I'm really glad I bought because I love them and they've become a staple part of my routine. But honestly, there are some product regrets as well. I think most of these products are from Sephora, so they're a little bit more expensive, and I just feel like for the price point, they're not necessarily worth the money. So I'll let you guys know what I think, which ones I recommend, which ones I don't. A lot of these are newer launches, and I feel like they're already getting a ton of hype on social media. So I'll be sure to let you guys know if I think they're worth the hype or not. Let's start with this product. I feel like I've been seeing it all over TikTok lately. It is the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smoothing Blur Drops. So this is kind of like a 2-in-1 product. They describe it as a silicone-free primer and serum. So you can use it as a makeup primer before you go in with your base products, or you can use it as a skincare product. It's supposed to visibly refine pores over time and then immediately blur the look of skin and then absorb oil as well. So it's going to be more ideal for you if you do have oily skin rather than if you have dry skin. During the winter, I was dealing with a little bit more dryness, and now that we're heading into spring, my skin is a little bit more oily than normal, but I still have a little bit of dryness like on my forehead, around my nose, and if I apply this product anywhere where I'm dealing with dryness, it just enhances that dryness even more. So I really would say if you have dry skin, I would skip over this. I don't know that this product would really appeal to you if you have dry skin. You might be more interested in like their actual glowy products, but I really only recommend this if you have oily skin. That being said, a BHA might have a place in your skincare routine if you have dry or normal skin, but I feel like there are other BHA skincare products that are better. The Paula's Choice is my absolute favorite, and I know people who have dry skin also like that product because in my experience, it does not dry out the skin at all. So this definitely is not going to replace that product in my skincare routine. The way that I've mainly been using it is as a face primer before I go in with makeup. I like the texture of this product. It does have more of like a lightweight serum-like texture, so it blends into the skin really nicely. It doesn't feel drying as you apply it. It definitely feels a little bit more hydrating, but once it dries down, your skin is left feeling really smooth, definitely matte, and I feel like it does provide a little bit of a blur. But throughout the day, I noticed that my foundations usually do break apart and they look kind of textured, uneven. They don't wear well on top of this product. Again, it does keep my skin super matte, so it's not that my foundation is breaking down because my skin is extremely oily. I just find that it almost gives my skin like a very textured look, especially around my chin. Like after a few hours, it looks like my foundation is super patchy, really uneven. I really would only recommend this product if you have extremely oily skin, no dryness at all, but even still, a lot of my foundations don't wear really well on this product. So I like it when it works well, but it is kind of one of those finicky products that doesn't always work well, and I'm kind of chancing that my makeup won't look great after a few hours. You know, it's not a product I hate, I just feel like it's kind of difficult to work with, so I would recommend maybe skipping over it and going for an easier primer that is just meant to be a primer, not like a skincare primer all in one. Okay, that was really long-winded. I feel like I'm going to have to condense my thoughts, otherwise these won't be actual speed reviews. So this next product is also marketed as having really good skincare ingredients in it. It's from Kosas. It is the DreamBeam Comfy Smooth Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 40. I'm going to be honest with you, this is an expensive sunscreen for a small amount of product. It's 1.4 fluid ounces and it's $40. And there are definitely more affordable sunscreens out there, but I do love the formula. I'm going to track how long it takes me to get through this. If you're using the proper amount of sunscreen, this probably is not going to last you too long, and again, it's expensive, so I feel like to constantly repurchase it probably isn't practical for most people. All of that being said, this is a really nice formula. It's very, very comfortable on the skin. It glides on really easily and it feels more like a moisturizer. It doesn't have like that typical sunscreen feel. It's not overly thick or overly glowy. It doesn't leave your skin feeling greasy, and it doesn't run into my eyes, which is important. I feel like so many sunscreens end up burning my eyes, and then I just don't wear them. But I have to say, it's such a nice experience using this one. It does give your skin a really pretty natural glow without being too intense. Like you don't look greasy or metallic. It does have a little bit of a tint to it because the active ingredient is zinc oxide, 21.7%. And typically sunscreens with zinc oxide are going to leave a strong white cast. And I don't find that this one leaves a white cast on my skin tone. Obviously my skin tone's a little bit lighter, but I would love to know if you've tried this, what your experience has been as well. It's a really gorgeous formula to to wear on its own because your skin does look really glowy. It feels smooth and it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It doesn't clog my pores, but it's also nice to wear under foundation. Foundation applies so beautifully. It's like you went in with like a glowy moisturizing primer. So I'm torn on this one because the formula really is gorgeous, but I do think $40 for 1.4 fluid ounces just isn't very practical for someone who's going to use it very regularly. The formula is good, the price is high, so it just comes down to what you're willing to spend for sunscreen. So I finally tried the Saie Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. This has been on my Sephora loves list for the longest time at this point, and I picked it up during the sale. I have the shade Light Bronze. I love the shade of this bronzer. I feel like it is perfect for my skin tone. So if we have a similar skin tone, I think you'll love this. The undertone is gorgeous. It looks really natural on the skin. It's not over the top. So I almost wish I tried this earlier as I was kind of getting into cream bronzers because it's very effortless to use. I was trying to think of which formula I would compare it to. Honestly, the closest formula in my mind would be like the e.l.f. putty bronzers. So I feel like those are a good alternative, but I almost think this one looks a little bit better on the skin. Like it's very smooth, really even. It doesn't take quite as much building as the e.l.f. putty bronzers because those are really, really subtle. But I also like that this one is a little bit more subtle, more natural on the skin. It's not as intense as the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer or the Makeup by Mario bronzer or the LYS bronzer. And it has a very natural finish. Like it's not overly dewy. It's not completely satin. It almost leans matte when I pair it with my other makeup products. It's a really beautiful formula. I'm definitely glad I picked it up. Also, I love the fact that it comes in like this large pot because it just makes it very easy to use whatever brush you want, and it's not super tiny. And you know what? I like these better than like stick bronzers. I just find that they're a little bit easier to work with because I never draw the stick directly on my face anyway. So I love it. I think it's going to be an absolute staple in my daily makeup routine. This is a product I don't like as much as I was expecting to, unfortunately. I think the quality of the product is really good. It's just that the shade doesn't look great on me. It's the Makeup by Mario blush in the shade Petal or Pale Petal. I don't know, like the color is just different than I thought it was going to be based on the swatches online and the description. It's almost like a really pretty watermelon blush, and again, the formula is really, really good. A little bit of this goes an extremely long way. I do find that it is a pretty pigmented formula. It has such a pretty, like soft, dewy glow, but it's not overly dewy or overly glowy. It does last on the skin really well throughout the day. So the formula is amazing. I just don't know that there is like a shade that really appeals to me. And I said that in a previous video when I was talking about this product, like I was thinking about buying it, but I couldn't land on a shade that I wanted to try. So I probably should have gone into a Sephora store and swatched them in person to decide, but I don't have one near me. I do have a Sephora at Kohl's, and I don't know if they sell Makeup by Mario there, but that was my mistake. I am going to keep it because I feel like sometimes it's nice to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And I mean, it's not like a blue blush, it's a pink blush. So it's not that much of a stretch for me to wear it. It's just a little bit more intense, a little brighter than I thought it was going to be. So I'll see if I wear it a little bit more over the next month or two. If not, I'll pass it along to my mom or my sister and see if they like it. I've been testing out 2 different mascaras. I did wear these side by side in my last testing new makeup video and did kind of like a mascara battle to see which one was better. They look pretty similar on the lashes, but there are definitely some differences. So let's start with this one. This is the Fenty Hella Thick Volumizing Mascara. This wand definitely looks like a mascara wand I would like, and the description sounded really nice. It's supposed to give you a ton of volume, make your lashes look really thick, super dramatic. I think this mascara does look really dramatic on the eyes. It does give you a lot of volume, and it gives pretty good length as well. It's easy to build up, but it's also easy to get to a point where it starts to look very clumpy. So if you don't like clumpy mascaras, I would immediately skip over this one because it's not going to give you like that separated look by any means. My issue with this mascara is that it flakes all over my face. I have not had that experience with a mascara in years. I feel like my issue with a lot of mascaras is they don't look dramatic enough, or maybe they'll smudge a little bit by the end of the day, but this one actually comes off and like flakes all over the face. I feel like I can make it work for me because if I go in with like a coat of a tubing mascara, I have that one from Milani I like as like a final step for a lot of my mascaras. It does stop most of the flaking, so I'll continue to use this one up fully just with that Milani mascara on top to kind of seal it in. But after that, I don't plan on repurchasing this one. I just haven't had that experience with a mascara in a long time. So it flakes a lot. It does have a tendency to look clumpy. I don't know. If you've tried this, let me know if you had the same experience. I feel like that was just a big fail for me. I've also been using this Colé mascara. It's the Lash Amplifying mascara. They kind of market it as like a volumizing and lengthening mascara. These are the same price. Honestly, I like this one better, which when I did my comparison, I think I liked the Fenty one a little bit better, but this one wears better throughout the day. There's no flaking. I wouldn't call it like a completely transfer-proof, smudge-proof mascara because I do feel like if my eyes are watery, it ends up running a little bit. But they don't market it as a waterproof mascara, so that's just my own personal thoughts on it. I do think it does give really good volume, a lot of length. I'm wearing this today, but I was actually wearing it on Instagram the other day, and I was actually talking about a lip gloss, but I got a lot of messages asking me what mascara I was wearing because you guys said my lashes looked so long, which is not a comment I ever get. So I do think this one gives a lot of length if that's what you're looking for. It is a very wet formula, so it takes forever to dry down, and I do think it is a pretty heavy formula. So I do notice that my lashes really fall throughout the day. I don't typically curl my lashes. I told you guys before I have like an irrational fear of eyelash curlers. So usually I do rely on a mascara to kind of give me like that lifted curled look. And I feel like that's really what I've been into for the last few months. And I don't know, it just surprised me when I got a lot of messages because I do think you get length, but at the same time, I don't think it lifts the lashes. So if you're someone who will use an eyelash curler, I'm kind of curious if you've tried this, if your lashes still fall throughout the day, because it is a wet formula. I don't know, I need to get on board with an eyelash curler. I'm just scared of them. I picked up this Urban Decay liner. It's one of their 24/7 inks. It's in the shade 0. I really like this product. It's not as intense as Urban Decay's Perversion, but I feel like that almost makes it a little bit better for me because it's really easy to get more of a subtle wing and a thinner line. My eyeliner today, I guess, is pretty thick, but if I do want more of a subtle look, I can definitely achieve that with this product. I find that it actually is really easy to hold. The design is like it has this center part where it's kind of supposed to be easier to grasp, and I feel like you do get more control as you're applying the eyeliner, which is nice. So if you have shaky hands or you tend to not be very steady as you apply your eyeliner for whatever reason, this might be more of an ideal option because I do find that the way it's designed makes it a little bit easier to use. I do think it is water and smudge resistant, but not completely waterproof. Like usually after I'm wearing this by the end of the day, it's still in place really well, even if my eyes are very watery. And I even like, before I went to wash my face, I was like trying to rub it off with water and it stayed in place pretty well. So not completely waterproof, like if you're swimming with this eyeliner on, it will come off, but I do think it stays in place well for like day-to-day wear. I did have an eyeliner fail. This is the Melt Slick Waterline Eye Pencil and I have the shade Ivory. So I thought these were sold at Sephora, but I was on Sephora's website and they only had like one shade left. I think they're taking them off of Sephora's website, but you can get them online on Melt's website if you want to try them. I got mine from Flip, which is an app where you can get like a discount on beauty products. And I love the way this looks initially. I'm wearing it on my waterline today. It glides on so easily. Like it is the creamiest eyeliner I've ever tried. The second you touch it to your skin, it just glides on without any effort. That sounds so ideal, right? But it doesn't stay in place well. So I've had this eyeliner on for, what time is it? It's 11:27. I feel like I probably applied this around like 9 a.m. And I do feel like, it's in place in the center, but it's really starting to wear off on like this part of my eye, where my eyes do tend to water a little bit more. So if you have very watery eyes like me, this is not ideal. Even if you don't, I just don't think it's going to stay in place well because it doesn't dry down. I've tried so many different light nude eyeliners over the years. I really like the Too Faced Killer Liner in Killer Cashmere. I think that one stays in place extremely well. There's also one from Catrice that I tried fairly recently. I'll link them in the description box below in case you want to try them out. One thing about Melt though is they have different shades of nude. A lot of brands just create like a very light nude, but this isn't going to be flattering on everyone's skin tone. So I like that Melt did do different nudes, like lighter nudes, medium tone nudes, deeper nudes. It would be nice to see other brands do that as well because, while a light nude is flattering on my waterline, it might not give the same effect on someone with a different skin tone. I want to talk about a few lip products. This is probably like the best lip gloss I've tried in a really long time. I feel like it's going to be one of my top favorites. It's from Lawless. It is the Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. I have the shade Cherry Vanilla. So I asked you guys on a recent video what you think about Lawless lip products because a lot of them just look so glossy, incredibly smooth online. And a ton of you said like this is your favorite lip gloss formula. So I picked this one up during the Sephora VIB sale. I'm so glad that I did. I feel like eventually I'll end up buying like another shade or two, but it's beautiful. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing it on top of a nude lip liner. So obviously it's not quite this color. I'm wearing the LA Girl Shockwave lip liner in the shade Maple Glaze. But I've had this gloss on for probably like, I don't know, 40 minutes at this point, and it still looks incredibly glossy, super smooth. I like that there is longevity with this product because a lot of lip glosses wear off so quickly, but this one, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like not sticky at all. There's a little bit of like a sticky, tacky feel to it, but I don't mind that because it does stay in place so well and it makes my lips look incredibly smooth. It definitely makes them look really full because it does have like that really smoothing quality to it. It's a really nice, hydrating, super comfortable formula. I love the large doe foot. I feel like it is the perfect size just to apply it to the lips. And I love when lip glosses have like a comfortable, big doe foot applicator. So I love wearing this on its own. It's not quite as red as I thought it was going to be. Like it definitely has more of a pink tint to it. And I wish it leaned a little bit more red toned, but honestly, it is so flattering on the lips on its own, but also over lip liner or lipstick like I have today. I really don't have anything bad to say about this product at all. I would say the only thing is I feel like I might go through it kind of quickly. I don't know that this comes with like less product than other lip glosses I have. You know what, maybe it does come with a little bit less product than other glosses. I'll have to compare it to a few of my other go-to glosses, but I do feel like I've been wearing it fairly regularly, so I'm sure that could contribute as well. Another lip gloss that I tried is this one from Colé, and I do really like this one too. This is their lip treatment oil. So they kind of market it as like a lip oil lip gloss hybrid. To me, this definitely feels more like a true lip gloss rather than a lip oil. It's a little bit thicker, but it is so hydrating, super nourishing, very plush feeling, and I think it looks amazing on the lips. It definitely gives my lips like a very smooth glass-like finish. This color is gorgeous. It's the shade Smitten. It's a little bit brighter than I thought it was going to be, but I think it is so stunning. It's not a sticky formula. It definitely stays in place well. So I love this. I would definitely purchase an additional shade. There is, I think, like a brown tone shade that I think would be really gorgeous, but I feel like this will be a perfect option for spring. A couple of fails. I got this product in the mail from Merit as PR. Did I tell you what else I got as PR? Actually, I think I bought everything with my own money except for this Kosas product, which I got as PR as well. But if you're new to my channel, I'll share my honest opinions either way. Whether or not I get something as PR or buy it myself, I'm going to share the pros and the cons. I'm not on like a ton of PR lists, and I don't accept PR from a ton of brands because honestly, it just gets out of hand, and I'm not really interested in reviewing like every single new launch, so it's just a little bit wasteful. Obviously, I donate the products and things like that, but if I do get PR, I will share my honest opinion either way because I want to make videos that are helpful. I'm not just here for free makeup. I can buy makeup if I want to try it myself. Anyway, I did get this product in the mail as PR, and unfortunately, I just don't think it's worth the money, to be honest with you. It's $24. And first of all, I feel like the doe foot applicator, it feels like the doe foot that you would get on like a $3 lip product. But that's not even really fair to say because Profusion makes lip oils that are $4 and they have the same doe foot that a lot of high-end brands do. This is totally personal preference, but it's just so small. I personally like something that's a little bit bigger. It just feels a little more luxurious to me. So I got the shade Mapleton, which is really pretty, but it doesn't really look like this on the lips. And in the last video where I tested it out, I was like saying it kind of does, it kind of doesn't. It ends up turning kind of like a hot pink, and I didn't realize at the time, but this is one of those pH tinted lip oils. I really don't like pH lip products. They were popular years ago. A lot of brands were doing lip balms, and that's when I decided like they just weren't for me. So I don't typically try these types of products. But I didn't realize this was a pH tinted lip oil because the swatches online all look different. And then if you're on Sephora's website, it's kind of hidden that it is a pH product. So just keep that in mind. So inevitably, they're all going to end up looking kind of similar. For me, they always pull like a very bright, unflattering pink. I will say this is like a true lip oil. A lot of brands market their products as lip oils and they're more of like a lip gloss or even like a glossy lip stain these days. This is like a true lightweight lip oil. Once it wears off after like 30-40 minutes, my lips do feel moisturized, which is nice, but I feel like there are so many lip oils out there. I just don't find myself reaching for this one. partially because it's not like a luxurious experience when I apply it. It doesn't look this color on my lips, and then it has like that pH aspect to it. Another fail for me is this product from Rare Beauty. Unfortunately, I wanted to love this. Like, I was so excited when I saw they were launching these tinted lip oils, and they looked really beautiful. I actually got the shade Happy because in a lot of their promo photos, Selena Gomez was wearing this, and it looked gorgeous on her. This isn't a shade that I would typically wear, and I will say it does look really pretty. It's different than a lot of my go-to lip products, and I have worn this multiple times, but in the end, it's not what I thought it was going to be. They describe it as a gel to oil formula that starts glossy and then leaves a stain behind. I do feel like that is accurate, but when I initially apply it, it's not like a super glossy look, not what I would expect from a lip oil. It also doesn't feel incredibly hydrating or nourishing. It feels like you're applying a glossy lip stain. And you know how some lip stains just instantly feel like kind of tight on the lips? That's what this feels like to me. Once that glossy layer wears off, and it does wear off pretty quickly because again, it's not super glossy anyway. It just feels more of like almost a natural satin. You're left with a stain, but the stain for me is not super even. I feel like it looks kind of patchy. It enhances all of the dryness. If my lips are dry at all, this product looks so bad, and it kind of settles into any fine lines, and it's not flattering. The stain does last on the lips really well, like all day long. But again, because it is kind of uneven and patchy, I feel like I have to go over my lips with something else, whether it is like a little bit of a gloss or a tinted lip balm or even this product again. So I don't know, I just feel like it's not an effortless experience when I'm using it. I don't love the way it looks initially, and I don't love the way it looks once that layer wears off. I definitely won't be purchasing additional shades of this product. I really do prefer like their glossy lip balm formula. I think that formula is gorgeous. If you want a little bit more of like an oily, glossy, balmy texture, I do recommend that over this. I will say I did pick up the Fenty Poutsicle, why is this so small? Poutsicle Hydrating Lip Stain fairly recently, like a few weeks ago, and these are similar, but I feel like Fenty is so much better. I have the berry tone shade, and this is like a true glossy lip product that leaves behind a very even stain. After the initial glossy layer wears off, which is really glossy, super, super pretty, you're left with a gorgeous stain that again will last all day long. This one is not as drying on my lips. It feels really hydrating, and the stain is very even. So I feel like these are very similar, but Fenty did a better job in my opinion. I will say Rare Beauty has more shades to choose from, which is nice. The Fenty one only comes in 4 shades, and I do like the Rare Beauty shades better, and Rare Beauty is less expensive. It's $20 versus $27, but I do think the quality difference is like, it's pretty significant. Fenty, in my opinion, is a lot better than Rare Beauty. So I don't know, it comes down to personal preference. I know a lot of people like these, but for me, they just didn't work out. I do have a new foundation I wanted to share. It's not a new launch, it's just something that I picked up during the 21 Days of Beauty. It's the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I love this formula. I was so pleasantly surprised by it. I mean, I guess I bought it hoping I would like it, but a lot of the time I buy foundations, like it's usually 50-50. Foundations just don't always work out for me, but this looks so good on the skin. The shade I got is a little bit too light. I got 16N Fair Light Neutral. I really thought this was my perfect shade. I used like the foundation matcher. I looked up swatches online, but it ends up looking really light on my skin tone. I feel like I can make it work. It's not like the end of the world by any means, but during the summer, I might need to purchase a darker shade to mix in with it. I usually just end up like over bronzing to compensate for it, but the actual formula is gorgeous. They describe it as full coverage with a natural finish. It has really hydrating ingredients, so I think their big thing is you get full coverage, but you don't necessarily get like that dry, heavy, cakey feel. And this really is like a very lightweight, super blendable foundation that has really nice coverage. It definitely gives your skin a really smooth finish. I feel like it does kind of blur the pores. It just glides over any texture, and it covers whatever you want it to. I deal with a lot of redness. I deal with acne scarring, and I feel like it just makes my skin tone look super even, very smooth, and it stays in place all day long. I love this product. I think it is gorgeous, and I'm really impressed by it. I just need to go in and maybe purchase a shade or two that's a little bit darker so I can mix them together. I also wanted to share an update on this concealer from Milk Makeup. I was kind of like going back and forth on this for a little while. It is their Future Fluid Concealer, and I have the shade 5W. So I like the way this product applies. I like the way it looks, but I think when I'm comparing it to other concealers I love, this one doesn't quite match up. So it's not a bad product. I feel like it's something I'll use up fully and then I just won't repurchase. It's really creamy. It definitely has like a little bit of a hydrating feel to it, but I do think by the end of the day, it looks pretty heavy and pretty cakey on my skin. I guess that's kind of what throws me off because when I initially apply it, it blends out nicely. It's super smooth. It doesn't feel heavy. But I've been wearing my makeup for a long time these days, and I feel like that's like what finally convinced me because I've been getting up and applying my makeup at like 7, and then I usually don't wash my face till like maybe 9. So I'll have my makeup on for 14 hours, and I feel like now that it's a little bit warmer out, I just noticed when I wear this, by the end of the day, like it looks heavy. It looks really thick on the skin. So I think if you're not wearing your makeup quite as long, that might not be a big issue for you. If that's the case, I usually do prefer like more of a lighter weight product. But if I do want my skin to look really smooth and I will maybe keep my makeup on for like 8 hours, this is fine. So again, that's kind of why I'm kind of in the middle about it. I think it looks good, it applies nicely. It's just not the best option for like really long days. I have 2 powders to talk about. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I picked this up during the VIB sale because back in the day, this was my favorite powder. Like I just didn't have anything that compared to it, and I loved the way it looked under my eyes. So I feel like for the past few years, I've been thinking about it. Like, was it actually that good? Eventually, I found the Flower Beauty powder, which kind of replaced it for me, and that one is significantly less expensive. Anyway, during the sale, I decided to splurge on this, and I purchased it, and it is good. Like, it definitely makes my skin look very smooth, very flawless. It pairs so beautifully with any products I'm wearing underneath. But I don't know, like I just don't think it's worth the $48 price point. That is so expensive for a powder. I do love the product. It looks so good on the skin, but I just don't know that I could justify repurchasing this over and over. I don't go through powder quite as quickly as I used to back in the day, and I feel like I mainly like using this under my eyes where I am dealing with a lot of fine lines because it just creates like that extra smooth look. I'm just kind of curious to see how long it takes me to hit pan on this and go through it. If it does seem to last in my collection a lot longer than it used to because I don't use as much, maybe I'll replace it from time to time, but I don't know. I feel like, again, the Flower Beauty one is so similar to me. So after repurchasing this, I feel like I'm happy to have it. I think it does a great job, but I just don't think I can justify the price point when there are other alternatives. The other powder I wanted to share an update on is this one from Haus Labs. It's the Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder. I love this product. I think it is really gorgeous. It's different than a lot of other loose powders I have. The other loose powder I've been using quite a bit lately is the Huda Beauty one. That one feels heavier and it's definitely more mattifying. It gives a little bit of coverage. This one looks and feels more natural on the skin. It feels like a very lightweight powder. You know the LYS Beauty translucent setting powder? You know how it's like super smooth, very finely milled? That's what this feels like in a loose powder form, at least to me personally. I think it looks so good. It definitely provides a little bit of a blur. It does a great job setting my under eyes, but it also sets the rest of my face so beautifully without feeling like I'm adding a ton of powder to my face. I love using this with cream products because I feel like it sets them into place without taking away all of the glow. So this really is a gorgeous powder. I tend to wear it on days where I'm going for more of like a lightweight makeup look, something a little bit more natural, something where I don't need to like lock my makeup into place for 14 hours. If I don't want my makeup to move all day, then I'll reach for the Huda Beauty one, or if I want like that extra smooth, very flawless look, that's the powder I'll go for. But if I'm going for something a little bit more natural or lightweight or light coverage, or I'm using a ton of creams, I'll use this one. It also does a great job of setting my under eye concealer, but again, not adding like a lot of texture under there or a lot of powder. Anyway, that's everything I wanted to share in today's video, all of my speed reviews. I hope today's video was helpful if you were kind of considering any of these products. I'm in the process of testing out a lot of newer drugstore launches, so that might take a little bit longer, but I'll be sure to update you very soon. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you very soon with a new one. Bye.